Imagine if you could expect the unexpected and know what's next. Because if you know what's next, you can uncover new business opportunities, create new revenue streams, reduce operational costs, have the power to predict future events, and prevent unwanted situations from happening, strengthening the protection of people and property. The Internet of Video Things has emerged as the next generation IoT, offering new possibilities to make this happen. Bosch has been at the forefront of this new market trend from the very beginning, offering AIoT solutions that enable the use of rich and versatile visual data in new ways. AIoT video solutions add sense and structure to video footage directly at the source, supporting predictive analytics by bringing together rich contextual and behavioral information, helping you to respond before a situation occurs in security, and much more. Our solutions are designed around your needs and built on trust, delivering the right performance, durability, and security by design. And at the same time, supporting sustainable business practices like remote management. Our ultimate goal? To give you the power to predict and to know what's next. AIoT video solutions from Bosch. Predictive, sustainable, trusted.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to our live streaming. I'm Janice. I'm responsible for the marketing communications for Bosch Building Technologies video solutions in AP. Today, we will be talking about the thinking buildings with metadata, how we use our camera to capture all the metadata and turn them into business insights. Now, let's go to Experience Center and meet our speakers. Level 1 capacity is full. Please do not enter. With the COVID-19 restrictions in Singapore, we have to limit the number of people in the building. The live view is captured by our cameras, which looking at level 1. Our video solutions be able to capture all the people that enter or exit from a building, even though there are multiple exits. All right, now I'm allowed to enter. I'll talk to you in a short while.
Intelligent insights, making data visible and usable in our Singapore Bosch connected building. Intelligent Insights collects, aggregates and visualises metadata from one or multiple cameras using a series of predefined widgets to provide an overview of the complete scene. The Area Field Level widget helps security operators to accurately monitor the occupancy level of a building or an area. The required metadata is delivered by Bosch cameras with built-in video analytics. By automatically adapting to changing light conditions, the cameras are able to always capture sharp and clear pictures, thereby providing accurate and reliable data. Based on this metadata, the Area Field Level widget counts persons that enter and leave an area at every entrance and exit. It visualises the current and maximum number of people allowed in a particular area at a specific time. 3 different states can be illustrated as green, yellow or red, along with corresponding info text such as please enter or please wait. Metadata visualization, Bosch Intelligent Insights, making data visible and usable.
Hello and welcome. My name is Gerard. You have just seen the video on the area field level use case from our new Bosch software, Intelligent Insights. This use case monitors the number of people in a certain area against the maximum allowed capacity. This information is especially important in the current global pandemic situation. It helps facilitate social distancing and prevents the spread of the COVID-19 virus. This area field level use case from Intelligent Insights is one of the many tools you can use to ensure the health and safety of everyone. In this session, I will explain how Intelligent Insights achieve this and the other use cases. But first, let's start with what Intelligent Insights is all about. In a nutshell, Intelligent Insights is the software that aggregates the video analytics data from multiple Bosch cameras and visualizes it into simple, usable, and intuitive graphical widgets. The information is then represented into widgets that allows users to quickly understand the context of various situations and enable them to make informed decisions with confidence. How does Intelligent Insights work? Bosch cameras has built-in video analytics that interpret video images and generates useful metadata from situations involving moving objects, people counting, and crowd detection. The metadata from Bosch cameras are streamed to the Intelligent Insights server. The server then aggregates and visualizes these data into graphical widgets you see. Having the data from multiple cameras provides better scene understanding and improves situational awareness. The widgets are grouped together to form a dashboard, which is accessible via a web browser, or they can be integrated into BVMS, Bosch Video Management System. When integrated into BVMS's operator client interface, users can manage their live video streams and Intelligent Insights data within one unified interface. This integration eliminates the need to switch between multiple applications to get a complete picture of the situation. Intelligent Insights comes with a series of widgets and use cases, all which contribute to specific safety and security needs. For detecting and monitoring of the buildup of people or objects, we have crowd detection, occupancy counting, and area field level use case. For accurate counting of people and objects, we have people counting and object counting use cases. For an overview of all objects that are moving in an area, we have the object position use case. Here at the Bosch Regional Office Building in Singapore, we have implemented Intelligent Insights along with Bosch cameras. Let's take a look at the dashboards and widgets on the screen behind me to see how it provides an overview of the situation at any given time. We have the occupancy counting use case. This use case offers the ability to count individuals and objects within an area at a certain time. It uses the built-in occupancy counter video analytics task of Bosch cameras to count the number of objects inside an area. The desired occupancy rate of the area can be specified by determining the maximum number of objects allowed to be in the area at any time. When the threshold is reached, an external device could be triggered. This could be an alert or action, such as a message displayed on the monitor at the entrance, a public announcement, or even closing a barrier to prevent further entry to the area. Not only are the default Bosch 3D objects classifications person, bike, car, and truck available, you can leverage the Bosch Cameras Trainer to train the camera to recognize your defined objects and count them with this use case. As you can see in this example, where we use the camera trainer to count the number of parked cars here at the Bosch building. Area field level traffic light use case. This is what we have shown in the earlier video, where the widgets display the current number and maximum number of persons that are in a certain area at the current time. This use case uses the built-in counter and line crossing video analytics task of Bosch cameras to count the number of people crossing a line in either direction. The widget visualizes the three different status for quick understanding with green, yellow, and red background and shows the corresponding messages such as please enter or please wait. The widget can be shown in full screen mode on the monitor to advise people, and the messages of the three different statuses can be customized according to the needs or translated into different languages. Objects position use case. With the object positioning widget, users get a real-time overview of all objects moving in a certain area. Based on the object's geolocation tracking data, which can be determined by the built-in video analytics of Bosch cameras, The objects are plotted onto a map and classified with icons. This is especially helpful for applications such as perimeter protection to assist operators, giving full situational awareness of the object's position in relation to the surroundings. Let's take a look at the video.
Intelligent insights, making data visible and usable in our Singapore Bosch connected building. Intelligent Insights collects, aggregates and visualises metadata from one or multiple cameras using a series of predefined widgets to provide an overview of the complete scene. The Object Position widget helps security operators monitor large perimeters without the need to look at multiple cameras. All objects that are moving in a specific area are plotted onto a map and are classified in the form of icons such as people, cars or bikes. The GPS positions of the objects are determined by the built-in video analytics of Bosch cameras that reliably detect, track and analyse moving objects. Metadata visualization, Bosch Intelligent Insights, making data visible and usable.
Thank you, Gerard. Now we would like to talk to our colleagues from Thailand, Pratya, who is going to share with us a metadata project. And the name of this project is called Rawai at Phuket. Hello, Pratya. How are you?
Hello everyone, I'm fine and Sawasdee krap.
Sawadika.
Yeah, everyone, my name is Pratya. I'm responsible for video system product manager of Bosch, Thailand. So the background of this project is the Rawai municipality had the vision and the mission for improve the quality of life for all the people and the tourists. They must have the safety life and property when live in the Rawai city. That will make them long stay and revisit Rawai city again. So Rawai city installed the camera in all this area for monitor and tracking the accident, crimes, and license plate vehicle tracking. For the earlier phase, Rawai municipality can serve the case from the people and the tourists average 10 to 15 cases per month. And today, the customer need to increase the capability to the smart system by deploy the analytic camera and utilize the metadata for inside the area. One of the use case, they analyze and show the dashboard report about the number of car and tourists who visit the Promthep Cave, that the landmark of the Rawai city.
Yes, would you mind share with us any challenges with this project implementation and how do we overcome this?
Yeah, okay. A lot of challenge in project. The first challenge is this project we need to demonstrate our solution comparing with the other brand in the market. According to government procurement policy, need all vendor propose the best and appropriate the solution. Thank you Bosch that has the best image quality and the camera that can capture the clear license plate at the intersection even on the daytime or the night time and met with the following municipality requirement. And the second thing is, as you know, the configuration of the analytic and get the metadata is another challenge. This challenge Bosch can overcome with Bosch video analytic camera at the edge and Bosch Intelligent Insight software that can help our system integrator can deploy the smart system and grab the metadata faster and easier. The last challenge is, as you know, the Phuket city is the humid and hot city. So the customer, they need to ensure that the camera can continue as working in many years with less false alarm rate. That Bosch camera can serve on this challenge due to that we have a lot of install base in the city surveillance in Thailand that can make the customer reliable on our brand.
Thank you. Do you have any other things that can share with us?
Okay, I think the last thing that I think, as you know, today all we live in the digital transformation age. All the organization need utilize more hidden data for understand your area and the customer. Bosch solution can help you easier to get the inside dashboard information.
Okay, I'm sure that every one of us would like to visit this beautiful city in anytime soon. Thank you, Pratya. Now we would like to hand over these sessions to Adrian, and we'll talk about the data security. Thank you, Pratya. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
สวัสดีครับ
Hello everyone, thank you once again and welcome to our technology talk. As you've probably seen from my colleague Gerard's demonstration, data from cameras can indeed be used in many interesting ways. However, we think this is also a time to remind ourselves about the importance of data security. So today what we are going to do for you is to briefly explore how we basically implement data security in our devices and systems. And in particular, we will deep dive into the topic of using digital certificates to enhance the data security process. So the internet today is no longer just an interconnection between personal computers. Devices of all kinds and shapes are interconnected on the internet, ranging from washing machines to fridges. The internet today is truly an internet of things. There's seemingly no end to this growth of connected devices, and we can anticipate the number of devices to grow aggressively for the foreseeable future. Of course, with more connected devices, this also means there's more surface area for cyber attacks. Now, traditionally, devices and the corresponding systems are really domain specific. A surveillance camera, for example, is connected to a surveillance system and is optimized to perform security tasks. With increased interconnectivity, this landscape has changed. Systems and devices that were previously domain-specific can now be interconnected. Data and information can be exchanged between these systems to enable new possibilities, ranging from automation to collating of data between systems, deriving new business insights. The reality is, a vast majority of these domain-specific systems were traditionally used in an offline environments, and typically ill-equipped to navigate the risk of cyber threats. If cybersecurity measures are not properly implemented, this can lead to systems being compromised and can have dire consequences. As it turns out, cyber attacks against these systems are not new, and is definitely not rare. So we zoom out a little bit and put things into further context. These domain-specific systems are often very rich sources of information, as demonstrated by my colleague earlier, and can provide invaluable insights to the business beyond its traditional scope. A video surveillance system, for example, aside from serving as a tool for security tasks, can also be used to generate data such as footfall traffic for retail environments, map travel paths for logistic applications. However, for these data to be truly useful, it needs to be integrated with enterprise systems such as CRMs or ERPs. Unfortunately, this also means a vulnerability in the domain-specific system ultimately puts the entire enterprise system at risk. Of course, the first instinct is to disconnect everything. That is not necessarily a sustainable solution, because it would mean leaving behind the potential for discovering new competitive advantages or leveraging advances in IoT. So in short, avoiding risk is not often the answer. What we rather need to do is to weigh the benefits against the risks and discover new ways to mitigate such risks. So today, we will dive a little deeper to explore how Bosch building technologies can help in mitigating risks and cybersecurity threats. At Bosch, we ensure our products and solutions are developed according to 3 key foundational principles to ensure cyber threats are mitigated. These would be, firstly, to create trust, secondly, secure data, and thirdly, to manage user access rights. In applying these principles to our video surveillance solution, you can now see how it results in 4 distinct application areas. So number 1, mechanisms and technologies are implemented for the validation of devices within a system environment. Number 2, mechanisms and technologies for ensuring data within this environment is securely stored and transported. Thirdly, mechanisms and technologies for consistent management of user access. And lastly, ensuring everything that we implement are consistent with IT industry standards to ensure that we do take advantage of state-of-the-art and ensure extensibility. So when we talk about creating trust, this points to the implementation of suitable technologies within our system and devices to facilitate authentication. In addition, we have added layers of security, such as usage of Trusted Platform Module, TPM, to store vital elements and execute vital operations towards authentication, ensuring zero possibility of compromise. Moreover, system component logic is implemented to ensure authentication is the first step before any data exchange happens. Securing of data is achieved through the usage of encryption technologies. During data transmission, encrypted data is sent through secure channels. Data that is received is in turn stored in secure proprietary formats. As mentioned before, any of these cryptographic operations are executed within a secure hardware environment provided by the TPM. Finally, in managing user access rights, we leverage on compatibility with industry-leading solutions, such as the MS Active Directory from Microsoft, and this ensures the consistency of user access rights and access administrations. It is worth highlighting, for all the previously mentioned aspects of authentication, encryption, the underlying technology is in accordance to establish state-of-the-art IT standards, and therefore is extensible with the use of third-party solutions to create a more robust environment. Now that you have a general idea of our philosophy, we can take a deeper look into one of these technologies, digital certificates, and understand how it works and better appreciate why it is an important piece of the overall cybersecurity puzzle for your video surveillance systems. So to start, I'm sure you're all familiar with the concept of going online, logging onto a website with your username and passwords, and in some cases, these credentials are really important. For example, to a bank, it involves highly sensitive personal information, such as your bank account and PIN numbers. One potential threat in this process is the fact that a bad actor can potentially set up a decoy and reroute your connection. And in case you fall victim to this, your credentials would have also been entered and rerouted and exposed to a bad actor, and ultimately placing your sensitive information and personal information at risk. In fact, the scenario here is not very different from where your video management system needs to establish connection with a camera. The main challenge in both scenarios is in the fact that the endpoint that you wish to connect to is located in some faraway remote location. Without proper mechanisms to authenticate the identity of this particular endpoint, there is a very high risk that sensitive information can be compromised. In the world of IT, endpoint identity authentication can be achieved through the use of certificates and keys. Think of certificates as identity documents, and keys being elements used as signatures on these documents. Where certificate states the identity of the device, keys are used to verify the certificate itself. There are several ways by which these can be obtained and used, one of which is to incorporate third-party solutions such as those from certificate authorities like VeriSign or DigiCert. Often, in the discussion of certificates and keys, we will come across the term public key infrastructure, or PKI for short. PKI simply refers to a framework that defines procedures, policies, and how which certificates and keys are managed, distributed, used, and stored. At its core, PKI functions are based on two elements. Keys are used for encryption and decryption, as well as performing digital signatures. In PKI, a private key is used to originate the signature and is never distributed outside the originating device itself. A separate public key is distributed by the device and used to verify the original signature that was done with the private key. Now, the second element, of course, is the digital certificate itself. To get a better view of this entire process, we can take a closer look at this example here that involves a third-party certificate authority. In the first step, a device such as a camera can generate a certificate, use its private key to perform the original signature. As a second step, the signed certificate alongside the camera's public key is sent to a certificate authority for verification. Upon verification, the certificate authority will countersign on the cert with its private key and sends that back to the camera. Now, this cert contains two signatures. From here, a VMS that wants to connect to the camera for the first time will be provided with the signed certificate alongside the public keys of the camera as well as from the certificate authority. These keys can then be used to verify the signatures. Upon successful authentication, data exchange can then continue. Subsequent connections from the VMS to the camera will only require the camera to send across the signed certificate since the VMS already have the corresponding keys stored. So as you can see, this is a framework that allows for multi-party authentication to establish trust prior to communication. Now, should a camera be hijacked, this can be detected quite easily since the hijacked camera would not have matching signed certificates or the requisite keys. Now, supporting PKI is just one of the many ways which we can implement cybersecurity capabilities here at Bosch. Our camera implements a suite of other capabilities in support of cybersecurity measures. These range from firmware checks to embedded login firewalls. I'm sure we will find more opportunities to discuss more of these in detail in the future. Not forgetting, underlying it all is also the hardware engineering that we put in, such as the implementation of a TPM, ensuring that all software capabilities that we built are intrinsically safe from hardware-level hijacks. So my thanks to you for staying with me throughout this entire session. Moving on from here, we have prepared a very short video to share with you our exciting roadmap across all our products ranging from cameras to software that will be showed in the upcoming video. After that, I will be looking forward to you for further interaction over our Q&A section. Thank you.
Hello, hi. Now is the most exciting part where I have these two gentlemen here to answer all the questions from the floor. Now, we have a few questions for Gerard here. So Gerard, a lot of our audience actually questions that how accurate is our intelligent insight? And of course that is intelligent insight, right, can be accessible via mobile phone or tablet?
Sure. So Intelligent Insights uses the metadata from our Bosch IP cameras. Therefore, it's very important for the users to configure and calibrate the cameras accurately. Right? It's also very important to leverage our best practices for Bosch IP cameras in terms of configuring the video analytics. Intelligent Insights does not enhance the metadata from the cameras. As such, again, it's very important from the IP camera's perspective to accurately configure and calibrate the camera. As for your second question, which is can Intelligent Insights view the dashboards from mobile devices and tablets? The question is yes. So modern tablets and devices, they support HTML5 and CSS. So that's possible technically. However, viewing the dashboard for the best optimum experience, we do recommend to use at least a viewing screen of 1920 by 1080, which is a full HD monitor at least. That's for viewing a dashboard. However, it's also good to know that the individual widgets can be displayed. And so using a mobile device or tablet or smaller screen is totally feasible and possible.
By the way, right, how many IP cameras can be added to each Intelligent Insight? Is there any restrictions for that?
All right, so currently, for the existing versions, we support up to 64 cameras, right? It's not just the cameras that is important, but it's also the number of data sources from the cameras. So all these critical information or specifications, we do list it in our data sheet, but it's also good to know that in the upcoming versions, we're also looking to improve beyond 64 cameras.
I believe that a lot of our audience here, and especially our BSCP, our key partners, have delivered a lot of key big projects. That's why that we need as long as so it will be good that our Intelligent Insights can support as many IP cameras as possible, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can always install more Intelligent Insights server to fit to your requirements.
So how about the third-party VMS supporting sites? Which are the third-party that can support Intelligent Insights?
Right, so Intelligent Insights can function solely as a dashboard itself, which means you browse the dashboards via a web browser, or it can be integrated into VMSs. Of course, we support on our own BVMS and also on third-party VMSs. So as long as the third-party VMS, as I mentioned earlier, also supports HTML5 and they support CSS, then we have no problems visualizing the dashboards or the widgets on those third-party VMSs.
Okay, one last question about Intelligent Insights here. What are the considerations if the building already have other CCTV IP brands but need to integrate with our Bosch Intelligent Insights? Are we flexible enough to do that?
So we do require the metadata from Bosch cameras. So that's very important. Of course, I mean, do reach out to your local Bosch representative and we can see what we can suggest in terms of implementing Intelligent Insights and also providing the security of our Bosch cameras. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So now I have some questions for Adrian here. So Adrian, you talk a lot about our public key infrastructures. So is there a way that we can implement the PKI without moving third-party solutions provider?
So I assume the question when you say third-party provider, it refers to this third-party certificate authorities.
Yes.
You know, as mentioned during the presentation, VeriSign, DigiCert. So it's important to understand that PKI in itself is a framework, right? And it's not necessary that you introduce a third party into this framework because it is always possible for an organization to use devices that are compatible with this framework, such as the Bosch cameras, generate certificates, and self-sign the certificates, right? So in this case, it is the organization itself functioning as its own authority to validate the devices. So it's not definitely necessary to do so.
And we heard Gerard talk a lot on Intelligent Insights. So does Intelligent Insights support public key infrastructure?
Well, at the end of the day, it is about, again, PKI is a framework. So this framework basically consists of the camera hardware, it consists of the software and the mechanisms by which
Right.
they exchange authentication, right?
Yep.
So when you talk about whether intelligent supports PKI, the short answer is yes. Yeah. In other words, this software is capable for you to utilize its internal functions that
Correct.
fits to this framework, and then authenticate the device that it is connecting to. So you will know this because once you connect via Intelligent Insights, you'll realize that the connection from the software to the camera is via HTTPS. So that's the indicator that it is using basically the PKI infrastructure for authentication.
And just now we do share a lot of our new products, new upcoming cameras products to the audience. So typically, which model can implement cybersecurity features?
So the beauty of Bosch product is this, right? Although you have all different series, different form factors, and different models, right? Ultimately, it is based on more or less the same platform.
Okay.
Yeah? So because of this approach to how we build our cameras, you can then implement a common firmware across all these cameras. So because it is all common firmware, therefore, these cybersecurity features that are implemented on this firmware is then available across all the cameras. So in short, it's a very long answer, but the short answer is every single one of the cameras would support it.
And it's not just across all cameras, but also through our software also, because it's, security is a very important topic for us at Bosch, and we do go to great lengths to ensure that it remains a priority for us.
Okay, so we have this customer. He's checking whether is the new security features. Is it a new security features of Bosch? So is there a new features, Adrian?
So from a camera standpoint, it is not new. Basically, this has been a feature that's long-standing been on our firmware. The only difference is now that it is more raised in the consciousness, and as what Gerard has mentioned, security basically is not just about the camera, right? It is also about camera. It's about what the camera is connecting to. So the software itself it also plays an important role so that your entire environment is secure.
Okay.
Yeah? So no, it's not new.
And I think there are a lot of questions that coming from the vertical point of view. So there are this customer asking whether if our intelligent insights is suitable to install in a bank.
Actually, that's a great question. Suitability we can determine by looking at the individual requirements, because every customer, not just every bank, they have different requirements, different specific requirements. So it'll be good to reach out to your local Bosch representative and then discuss about it, because that's also the beauty of our Bosch solution. It's not just a one-size-fits-all. We can customize the solution to fit different requirements.
And agents, since we talk a lot about our cameras, so sidetrack a bit. So there's this customer is checking whether how many vehicles and human be counted by our solutions if we install the CCTV in traffic lights. Is it possible? Or should I rephrase these questions again?
Sure, let's see.
So maybe if I understand the question correctly, it's a question of how many concurrent objects such as cars and humans that you can track simultaneously.
Yes.
Maybe that's what you are asking. So the answer really is it depends on what your viewing angle is, right? So typically what happens is this, if you have a camera and you mount it, if you want to get good security detail, typically what you will have is the camera is mounted, the position of the angle of the camera allows you to see quite clearly, but not so wide, right? However, if you mount it very far away, you can actually see a wide space and each of the things will be very small. So you don't get the security detail that you need. Yeah, so I say that because this is not an uncommon question. Usually what you'll try to do is find a balance between both the security side as well as the data analytics side. Right? So typically in those type of view, you would track up to 20 simultaneous objects without issues. If you utilize, for higher range cameras, for example, you utilize Camera Trainer, you can essentially do that for 70, 80, 100 objects as well. Right? So it's very use case specific. It's also dependent on what cameras that you use. But I think, again, the most important thing is what I said at the very beginning, finding that optimum view for you to do these two things. Yeah?
And Gerard, you have anything to add on this topic?
I think Adrian addressed very eloquently on the things we need to look out for when implementing or balancing the requirement between general surveillance and for video analytics. Yeah.
And one more question from Kiran. Any use case or particular domain that these cameras are currently used for or suitable for?
In terms of intelligent insights,
Yes.
well, we have deployed it in a region across different verticals, such as for transport, right? And also in commercial buildings, where especially in today's current pandemic situation, I mean, it's really important to monitor the number of people within a given space, right? So we have deployed that in one of the countries, in an office building to track the number of people within the building at a certain time. It's similar to what we have shown in our demo earlier.
Okay, and also Gerard, as the BBMS expert, so there's this question for you. Is it possible to integrate third-party on-with cameras and third-party server and storage with our BBMS software for live and recording purpose?
Yeah, sure. Since a few versions ago, BVMS has been opened up in terms of being on-with Profile S compliant client. In that sense, we are able to integrate with any third-party on-with Profile S compliant devices. So that is not a problem. And as for storage compatibility-wise, we do implement validation programs. So as long as there are certain customers who come to us with requirements, if they want to use a certain brand and model of storage, we do support that validation program. So just reach out to your local Bosch representative for that.
And talk about these pandemic situations here. There is this customer is checking whether do we have any thermal cameras, especially for the very niche vertical. So any one of you can answer this question?
So in thermal cameras,
Yes.
so we do have a range of thermal cameras, but we have to be a little bit more precise. So even across thermal cameras, they are built for different types of purposes,
Yes.
right? So we do have, by and large in our portfolio, our thermal camera solution is used for perimeter monitoring. So basically to detect heat signature at super dark or super far away places. So
Okay.
that is the use of our thermal cameras. So do these thermal cameras function as a temperature monitor? It doesn't, unfortunately.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so that's to put in context, depends on what application you want to use the thermal camera for.
okay. So one more question is actually we do encourage our audience here to type any questions if you have on the comments here so that we can address any doubts. And any things to add on, Gerard, agents, like maybe we can also share with our audience here any typical projects that we have implemented in the regions, especially our intelligent insights, Gerard.
Yeah, that's always a question we get a lot from the customers. Unfortunately, because being in the security industry, right, our customers are very sensitive to us sharing without authorized reference projects. But in any case, when we do have these reference projects, we will obviously share them out. But in terms of some of the verticals, we have used it, as I mentioned earlier, in the transportation vertical, in some road projects where we are public road projects where we are counting the number of vehicles, right? And again, we mentioned use in commercial buildings and office buildings. Yeah.
Sure.
So from the last thing I would add probably since my topic was cybersecurity after all. So the thing to understand and to try and appreciate is if you compare across products from different manufacturers in the industry, very, very few manufacturers take cybersecurity as seriously as we do.
Okay.
Right? Very, very few. So if there's an opportunity to kind of evaluate side by side and really look at what kind of cybersecurity functionality So for example, I brought about the topic of TPM, basically a module that we fit inside the camera that is hyper secure. So in the case that if your camera gets hijacked and someone takes apart the camera, they try to take the chip and read it, the information cannot be read. Yeah? So this is the type of hardware level security that we implement as well. This is very, very common in the IT industry, especially for storage devices, but literally no one that I know would put a TPM chip inside a camera device.
And I guess this is also the beauty of our products and solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one more question for Gerard here is, yes, sir, can you please provide the object accuracy in MTRS CM for the positioning, the object detection?
Again, in terms of accuracy, it really depends on each individual scene, right? What you're looking for. So we do have a best practice white paper on video analytics, setup, configuration, what's the best method for various use cases. And I do recommend to check out that white paper. Do reach out to your local Bosch rep if you are unable to find the document.
Yeah, I mean, I can add a little bit more if it helps. So basically, we are here in our experience center where I actually do run live demos for clients, and we use actual scenes in our building. For a properly configured camera, it is not unusual to achieve accuracy levels above 80%, closer to 90%. Yeah? So it is not unusual. So it really depends on, like what Gerard said, what the scene is, what kind of angle you're able to get, and how accurate you are in configuring the IVA to start.
And Adrian, you also mentioned that we host virtual experience tour regularly because there are a lot of questions from the floor, as in is checking, Janice, when is our next technology talk? And when can I be informed for the next technology talk? I assume that everybody is they find our sessions here is as very interesting. So a good news is actually we host our regular virtual tour very often and as per request. So if you are very interested on our product and solutions, feel free to approach Gerard, Adrian, or myself, that we can always hold this virtual tour to you.
That is correct.
Yes.
Because this experience center space that we set up, its primary purpose is to bring in customers, show them live, and then show them how we utilize the technology in real life, right? Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we can't freely move around. But nevertheless, we find the opportunity to be able to show a lot of these things over the internet in a virtual tour session. So in short, think of the virtual tour as an actual visit to our experience center. Feel free to organize with myself, with Janice, even with Gerard. But if you happen to be located outside of Singapore, feel free to approach your local Bosch rep. They would be in touch with us. We can get this going.
Okay, so a few more questions here. Can you please explain what is the multi-tracking system? Multi-tracking system.
I think he probably means the object positioning system.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the object positioning system, what it does is the camera is looking at a specific scene, and they are able to track and the objects that are moving through the scene. So using the geolocation data that has been configured in the camera. If it's outdoor, you can use GPS settings. If it's indoor, you can use the Cartesian coordinates. And then once all this geolocation data has been accurately configured, we can translate the data onto a map, be it a floor plan. And the camera, the intelligent insights receive that metadata from the cameras, and then they are able to plot the objects. I'll say fairly accurate, as you can see in the earlier demo, onto the floor plans or the maps.
Okay, and so this customer is checking whether it's about the pricing. So he say, hey, is there anyone can talk to us about the pricing?
Pricing, right. I think that pricing-wise, it would be best to check with your local Bosch representative also. Yeah.
Correct. Because one of the unique things about Bosch is the fact that we do have local offices in the individual countries. Right? And because of that, we actually facilitate a lot of logistics as well as financial transactions locally. Yeah? So oftentimes using local currency. Right? So therefore, it is best to approach your local rep when it comes to matter of pricing. So you get the most accurate number
So
possible.
nevertheless, if our audience here have any questions, if you are coming from any countries that you need some help, you can always approach Gerard, Adrian, or myself here. So now it's 3:20. I think that we are approaching the end of our technology talk today.
Cool.
Yes. So thank you very much for everybody who joined us today, and I hope that you find the session is very insightful and provide intelligent insight to your business. I'm Janice here.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, I'm Gerard.
So thank you for joining us. Last but not least, we Bosch actually work very closely with our partners to deliver a lot of prestigious projects across the industry and in this world. So next, I'm going to share with you a short video clip which summarizes all the key project reference, and enjoy watching it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.